accountable. He is our congressman. Please give a round of applause to Congressman Sanford Bishop. Let's give him a round of applause.
This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. It's a sad time. It's a painful time. But it's our time. It's God's time. James Walton Johnson wrote, "Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died. Yet, with a steady beat, have not our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers sighed. We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered." Eric Garner, New York. Michael Brown, Ferguson. Laquan McDonald, Chicago. Tamir Rice, Cleveland. Walter Scott, South Carolina. Freddie Gray, Baltimore. Jameer Clark, Minneapolis. Alton Sterling, Baton Rouge. Philando Castile, St. Paul. Stephon Clark, Sacramento. Boffin John, Dallas. Carrie Lyles, Columbus, Georgia. Kenneth Walker, Columbus, Georgia. Jarvis Likes, Columbus, Georgia. Ahmaud Arbery, Brunswick, Georgia. Breonna Taylor, Louisville, Kentucky. George Floyd. George Floyd. George Floyd. Out from the gloomy past, till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. On May 25th, George Floyd, a son, a father, our brother in the human family, had the light of his life extinguished, put out in plain sight, handcuffed, face down, in total submission, 1,233 miles from where we stand today. He was held down by a knee to his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds by a criminal disguised as a public servant whose duty was to serve and protect him. This horrible crime was captured on camera and within minutes was being viewed by millions of people coast to coast and around the world. Hour after hour, over and over, the images of this horrible homicide beat against our psyche. We have seen this picture before. We have been here before. But somehow, deep down in my soul, I believe and I feel that today this is different. Today it is different. When we saw George Floyd's life snuffed out under that racist knee, a bolt of lightning hit simultaneously all over the world. It lit a fire of furor, of anger, but it set off a bright light, a star called justice. And immediately, men and women of all races, black, white, young, old, straight, gay, Christians, Jews, Muslims, people of all faiths, wherever they were at the moment, started pushing and started pursuing that star we call justice. Justice not just for George Floyd, the latest victim, but for black and brown and Asian and all people who are abused and beat down, shot and killed by a system that denies their basic humanity. Today, people everywhere are saying, we need justice. People everywhere are crying out for justice. Democrats, Republicans, independents are crying out for justice. This era of COVID-19 pandemics, this era of Trump has snatched the covers, the hoods that were hiding the ugly sores of systemic racism in this country. And people are saying with their voices and with their bodies, no more, no more, enough. There must be change. There's still too much poverty. There's still too much hunger. Still too much sickness. Still too much hatred. Still too much fear. Still too much ignorance. Still too much violence. Still too much injustice. This time, people everywhere have decided to speak up, to stand up, to take a knee, to make some noise, to get in the way. And we must take up the cause. We must take up the cause of justice today. We must join this movement for justice. We cannot let today just be a moment for justice. We cannot let today be just a moment for justice. We cannot let today just be a moment for justice. Today we need a movement for justice. We need economic justice. We need nutrition justice. We need education justice. We need criminal justice. We need racial justice. We need election justice. Justice, 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 justice. We need justice. Today, our message must be powerful. Today, our message must be purposeful. Today, our message must be peaceful. On the local, the state, and the national levels, we must hold our elected officials accountable. We must hold our law enforcement accountable. We must hold ourselves accountable. Our voice is in our vote. Politics is nothing more or nothing less than who gets what, when, and how. It's elected officials that make those decisions about who gets what, when, and how. But it's voters who select those elected officials. George Floyd is likely to get justice because Keith Ellison is the elected Attorney General in Minneapolis. And people all across the world are demanding justice. The local DA was elected in Minneapolis, but was not willing to do justice for George Floyd. It matters who the President of the United States is, yes. It matters. But it matters also who the DA is. So we must vote. It matters who the sheriff is, but we must vote. So we must vote. It matters who the state representative, who the state senator is. So we must vote. It matters who the congressman, who the U.S. senator is. So we must vote. This time is different. Even with COVID-19, we are going to vote. We are going to vote for justice. Eric Garner, in the name of Eric Garner, we've got to vote and stand up for justice. In the name of Botham John, we've got to stand up for justice. In the name of Carrie Lyles, we've got to stand up for justice. In the name of Kenneth Walker, we've got to stand up for justice. In the name of Jarvis Lights, we've got to stand up for justice. The war for justice is not over. The victory is not won. So we'll fight together, black, white, young, old, gay, straight. We'll fight till the victory is won. So we'll fight to the finish. Then, when we see that it's all done, when we see that justice is rolling down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream, then we'll say glory, glory, oh glory, justice, justice, justice.
You can do better than that. Give it up for Congressman Sanford Bishop. No justice. Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Thank you so much again, everybody, for coming out. We're not